Mm. You are live.
You are live. There we go. We are live. It looks like we made all of our connections. Sherry, technology is being nice to us today.
You think?
Oh, yes. I like it when technology says, okay, I'll play with you.
Yeah, but we never know till the end of playing with
Oh,
them.
that's true. We could get to the end and find out, well, it wasn't quite that way. But that's technology, isn't it? And we've certainly learned perfection is out the window. We've learned that too, haven't we?
Yes, and it'll be interesting with our East Summit coming up July 9th and 10th, what technology does with that. Oh my gosh, that'll be some more things to learn, right?
More to learn.
It's all about learning. Hey, you know what? We might want to introduce ourselves today.
Oh, minor detail. Welcome. I'm so glad you decided to join us today. I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach, TA. It's time to defeat those lies of negative self-talk by looking at those lies with a new perspective, which then opens your eyes to some unseen possibilities right in front of you. Then you'll notice some pathways opening onto which you can choose to proceed in truth. My co-host.
Good morning. I am Sherry Berger, for those that don't know me, and I am the owner of Here to There Consulting. And we educate business owners with those tools to balance life, finances, and businesses so that you can move forward and have growth, success, and great leadership in your business and in your life. Because our mission is to help you create the life and business that you deserve. Welcome, welcome. I am so glad you are here. Can you believe that today is the end of May?
The end of May. What is it? Oh my gosh, today is the 26th of May.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's the end of the May. Next time we see you people, next time we go live, it will be
June.
And we have some great stuff coming up in June. But what are we going to talk about today, Terry Ann?
Oh my goodness. You know, all through the month of May, we've been talking about our life and business as if it were a garden.
Mm-hmm.
And within this garden, we talked about weeds and finding the weeds in our life in our garden. And we found some weed killers that we could apply. So today, now that we've looked at our garden and we've gotten rid of those weeds, we've determined what weed killers we need. How do we reset?
How do we reset?
How do you reset your garden?
Oh my gosh, that is a really good question, because this last 15 months has been crazy. So we really do need to reset, right? Reset those goals, reset where we're going, and make sure that we're going to keep blooming as we're going into June. Like I said, oh my gosh, because you know, May showers bring. Oh no, it's April showers.
April showers bring May flowers that bloom.
You know why I'm saying May
June.
showers is how much showers in Kansas City have we had? So I was being funny, but oh my goodness, right? So now we need to start blooming. My garden actually was a little happy about this rain. I don't know about your guys' showers, but it's been happy about it because rain, like resetting, helps us grow.
Ooh, I like that.
So we talked about some of the things that we could do to de-weed, right? And you talked about what weed killers, don't use the toxic weed killers. I'm just saying. That's what I thought. But more importantly, right, we talked about going for a walk. I think somebody said they love to have coffee on their back deck and look at their flowers. Maybe that was you, Terry Ann. And today I have my coffee that my son bought me, this cup. And it says, I'm a grandma. What's your superpower? So if I sit on my back deck, I can think about my superpower of being a new grandma. So what can you do to think of your superpowers, right? Do the affirmations. Maybe just sit in the back and relax and kick back and look at nature. Or maybe you could go for a walk, listen to podcasts, right? Or your favorite music, or what I've done before is just listen to nature and meditate and pray. So what are the things that we need to do to keep those weeds away? And when I tell people that, you know what they always say that they don't have enough of?
What's that?
Terry Ann, what does everybody say they don't have enough of?
Well, that all depends on the individual.
Time. I don't have enough time for that.
All right. I'm trying to go so many different ways, but you're right. It's time.
I have no
There's
time for that. And why do we not have time for that?
Because we're too busy doing the things that we need to stop doing and take the time to stop doing.
Well, maybe it needs to be on our schedule.
Ooh, shall I schedule some time to relax?
Yeah. And what if we went in our offices about 5-10 minutes before we're ready to start, and we pray and we reflect and we look at what our goals and strategies for that week or that day is, and we reset so that we can move forward.
You know, as you say those things, Sherry, the thing that comes to my mind is the word reset almost makes me think of habit. I have to change some habits. So where I get into the habit of I am feeling overwhelmed and stressed, if I need to change my habit of at that moment, instead of heading for the refrigerator or adding more to my workload, you know, saying yes instead of saying no, making it even more, I need to get into the habit, just like those are habits. I need to change that habit into, I'm going to stop for a little bit. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to sit down and rest for a little bit. So we need to, when I hear the word reset, I think of habits. We need to change some habits.
Well, yeah. And I don't know about you, but like right now, I feel like I have 50 million things to get done because we have that East Summit coming up on the 9th and 10th. And then, you know, I've been trying to figure out this grandma gig. So I've been running down and back and forth babysitting. And so it's been crazy. And then I have aging parents. And so there's just a lot going on in your life, whatever that is. And so sometimes we go, man, I didn't do enough. I had all this set planned and I should be here and I'm not meeting those deadlines, versus saying, let's go look at how we need to reset what those deadlines are. How maybe some of those things, were they squirrels that we were chasing, or were they top higher priorities, right? Like I would say my grandson's a higher priority, my parents' higher priority, my kids are higher, right? But sometimes we can say it's a squirrel. So what if you spent all day on Facebook or half the day or 3 hours? That would be, right, a squirrel that you chased. But even then you have to go back and show yourself some grace and go, what habit, like you just talked about, can I stop doing? Like maybe flip my phone over so I don't see, maybe not have Facebook up so that I'm not, unless Terry Ann and Sherry are on, then you better have Anyway,
definitely want it on then.
What do you have to do, right? And what other things do you need to say? You know what? Life's had a few bumps in the road. And I need to show myself some grace, but I still can do these deadlines. Maybe I need to flip things around a little bit. And I don't know about you, but we always do to-do lists, right? I like to do also my I got done list.
I love those lists.
So if the starting of the day you start with a to-do list and then you're frustrated because it's not totally done, go back and look at, what did I do today? And sometimes what I did today is not on your to-do list. So you might need to write that down. Oh, I had a friend that had a really, and I'm not saying to always drop everything for friends and family. That's not where I'm getting at. But I had a friend that really needed me and I was there for them. And this is the results from that. Or I had kids that really, right? Or I rocked my grandbaby. What was it? Right? And to show yourself some grace in that. And maybe even be real at the end of the day and say, I spent 3 hours on Facebook, which might be a time waster. I answered the call when that toxic friend of mine kept calling and needing me. And I needed to put boundaries up. But until we start seeing what we're doing, how can we create different habits? And if we keep beating ourselves up with our mindset, how are you going to move forward just to make today better.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just some things that came to my mind. So I don't know what came to yours.
I know on those days when you talk about that to do and I got done list, some days I also have to remind myself when I write down even minor things. If it's a really bad day, I got dressed today. How many times do you have such a bad day that you want to get dressed? Okay, so that was an accomplishment. Then I like to remind myself to celebrate. Yes, that to-do list is still long, but that to-done list is just as important. And so where am I going to focus?
And how about if on those bad days, you do something like I got dressed, I wrote down what was bugging me, I went for a walk, and I prayed about it. And that's all I got done today. What? That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So how about if on those hard days, that's what we think about doing? And I know some people have health problems. So maybe even if you did your chair exercises, right? Because you couldn't get up and maybe move and walk. But what did you do for some self-care? And getting your body moving, oh my gosh, it's amazing what that does. Getting out in nature and just being outside, even if it means sitting on your back deck and doing your chair exercises. And then, of course, resting afterwards and just chillaxing. But my point is, doing those little things can change your mindset. So how about if I had a bad day today and you did all those things I just said, and I changed my mindset for tomorrow?
Oh,
there's a huge to-do list at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things in life will even, what is it called? Throw you lemons, and you could have a bad day because something really bad happens. And that's another time when you have to decide to reset.
And that's an important word, decide to. Sometimes we forget that we really do have choices. So I can choose to wallow in the I'm upset I didn't do, or celebrate the I did do's. We can choose, and sometimes that's a hard thing to even accept. I can choose to make this a good day, even though every phone call I got was somebody mad, griping at me about something, but I can still keep my own personal peace and joy and make that my priority.
My second dad, who I like to talk about a lot, Gerald, unfortunately, I just recently lost him, but he always used to say, make it a good day. Not have a good day, but make it, because you can't control the circumstances around you. And he would laugh a lot of things off. So if you watch people like that have very positive attitudes, no matter what their health's going on or what's going on in their life, right? You can learn a lot from them. And of course, I have other mentors along my path that I've learned a lot. And the funny thing, a lot of them has went to go be with Jesus. But did you just hear that they left a legacy and made a difference here? So you can realize that the way you act and your attitude, you could also leave a legacy when you leave Earth, not to talk about death. That sounds bad.
Right.
But what I'm saying, what legacy are you leaving? And how are you making other people feel around you by the way that you choose to make it a good day?
Oh.
Do you want to go play with Eeyore? From Winnie the Pooh? I always thought Eeyore's cute, but he's not a lot of fun.
But you know what is important? Eeyore may not be a lot of fun, but they never left him out of any of their adventures.
They did not, but sometimes they just still stay positive around him.
Yes, even they did not let Eeyore's gloominess affect their excitements, their positiveness.
Which I think Eeyore, I don't know. Let's not go analyze Eeyore, but maybe he's the one that has depression or something. So maybe that is a person that's kind and nice, but they just struggle, right? And we need to decipher that when we're staying away from those so-called toxic people. Because there's some people, it's too funny. My brother and I had this talk the other day. They go, these people have a good heart. Just sometimes they don't know how to respond. And this person's not exactly kind. And I hate to say they have a bad heart, but they're purposely being mean. And some people just have good hearts and would do, and their intentions are, but maybe they don't really understand boundaries, or maybe they struggle with depression, or maybe, and to know the difference there, right? And to give people grace based on that. And the mean people, I always say, just kill them with kindness. I mean, what else can you do?
Right.
You choose the way you respond.
And that, what I find interesting there is, in order to know, does that person have a kind heart, just maybe a difficult time showing it? Is that person really intentionally being mean? There's only one way to find out, and that's to get to know the person. Because maybe today when I saw you and I hadn't seen you in a while, and boy, you are just really I just can't understand the things that you're saying, or you appear to be mean, or things are just, maybe you're being short. I need to get to know you to find out that something had happened that day that was on your mind, that you were upset about something. So just seeing you and looking at your reaction and deciding, hey, that person is blah, blah, blah. Now get to know that person.
I think you just came up with another great topic.
Oh,
so you need to write that down. I think we might talk more about that later. And that is great. And boy, I was about ready to go down that rabbit hole. And then I was like, wait a minute, we need to go back to how we can reset.
But we're resetting.
And some of the reset is dealing with those people and figuring out boundaries with it. And that's great. But man, I love where you were going. And I almost caught the bait. But, Terry Ann and I like to stay on topic. So we'll go right back to resetting our garden, because that's what we're talking about today. And we would love to hear from the audience ways that you reset your garden and ways that you do different. And if you listen to this on a replay, you do know you can follow Terry Ann on her YouTube channel. And you also could follow me on my YouTube channel. And we'd appreciate if you guys did that. And also, you can make a comment on both of our YouTube channels. Mm-hmm. And the other way is to come back to Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann, and you can make comments there. And we will go back and reread comments. And so we really appreciate getting input from our audience. Because you know why we do Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann? Why do we do it, Terry Ann?
So that I have a reason to get up on Wednesday mornings? No.
Yeah, right. So we do it because we want to go out and we want to support and help small to mid-sized businesses and people in general. And through this pandemic, we really thought this was important for us to do Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. Since that is our why, we need input from our audience so that we can keep, giving you the resources that you need. Because I'm not a mind reader. Are you, Terry Ann?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. I try to convince my husband that I am, and I have found out that no, I'm usually wrong.
So I think at the end of this video on Conversation Sherry and Terry Ann, we will put both of our YouTube channels if you guys like to follow either one of us there. And if not, come back to Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. So anyway, to watch our replays. And we appreciate people that watch our replays.
So one of the ways that I intentionally reset, excuse me, is I actually do put on my to-do list for the day 15 minutes away from the desk. And when I first started doing that, I thought, now that just seems so ridiculous. But it reminded me, and sometimes set a timer. Okay, this is the time. Get up, walk away. Because I can become so engrossed in what I'm doing that I totally forget that. I'll forget that I'm supposed to go in and make dinner, or I'm supposed, I need to go do this. So I intentionally on my to-do list put points of get away from the desk, leave the office, especially with a home office. It's really hard because, hey, I'm in the house.
So that's something I learned in my 20s is I was a system analyst for Sprint. The whole system would go down. You'd be trying to analyze what the problem was and couldn't figure it out. That happened to me too as a programmer analyst. And Gerald, who was a system analyst for IBM and retired, and my second dad, used to say, well, that's because you need to go across the street and get a cup of coffee. I'm like, but there's coffee in the office. No, you need to get away And I didn't believe him. And I'm 20 and I know it all. And I'm, just graduated Park University, got the big job, right? But when I would do that, guess what would happen when you came back to the project, Terry Ann?
For me, it's a whole new perspective.
It is. And all of a sudden you could solve the problem.
Yes. I could walk in and, there I see something I could not see before.
So that silly advice that I got told to go across the street to the coffee shop and get a cup of coffee, which really you didn't really have to go get a cup of coffee, just go outside and get out and moving, was the best advice ever. And that is my advice to you. Go outside, get some sunshine, schedule your 15, I would say more than 15 minutes away from a computer, though. I think we need to take breaks, every couple hours?
Yes.
We do.
I agree. That was a hard lesson to learn, but I agree. And that's why because it's so easy to not do, that's why I had to start scheduling it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know about you. Some watches even are set that if you sit for so long, they'll buzz you and say, hey, get up.
And so there's another thing, we've had a lot of rain in Kansas City. And some people don't like to go outside and dance in the rain. I do, except for my hair does not appreciate it. My hair is the kind of hair that goes like this. So anyway, with the humidity and the rain, but you can run up and down your stairs at work, at home or at work. Or how about if you just walk around in circles, because some people will say I don't have stairs, right? So just figure out where you can get up, get moving. And guess what else you need besides getting moving? I want coffee. I want to go across the street and get a cup of coffee, but that's not what I need. I need my water. So if you get yourself some water, you get your body moving, but really getting that vitamin D and going outside, you know what I mean? If you can, is a great way to reset your brain.
So how do you get into that habit? How do you get into a new habit?
How do I get in a new habit? If it is not on my time block, it does not happen.
Oh.
And you know how you always have to get in a habit, or at least I do? No, wait, everybody does. It all begins with mindset. I have to choose that I want to get into a new habit. Then I have to intentionally schedule that new habit. And then I have to actually take action. And I have to allow myself. How about if you say you're going to eat right every day, right? And you do well. And then a Twinkie comes along. Oh, wait, people don't even know what a Twinkie is. How about a ding dong? Oh, wait, people don't know what those are. If a brownie comes along, right? And you eat it, then do you just quit the habit totally? Or do we just reset and try to do better next time? Except for I say, go ahead and eat that brownie. And you're like, what? When you're trying to set a habit, we have to do 80-20. You can't do 100%, because anytime you try to go on a diet 100%, you try to whatever 100%, what does your mind do about that? I mean, are you really realistically going to be perfect all the time? So to give yourself a little bit of that 20%. So if we 80-20, whatever we're trying to do, we can get it done.
And with that brownie you were just describing, how many times talking about mindset then is it, I'm not going to have that brownie. I refuse to have that brownie. But what do you think about all day? That brownie. Oh my gosh, it's over there. Sometimes how are you going to get that out of your mind? Sometimes it's by taking one bite.
Or deciding you're going to eat half the brownie.
Or eat half.
Just say, you know what? I'm eating all the brownie. It's my birthday. I don't care. Right? But tomorrow I will. So, I mean, sometimes you got to, but intentionally thinking about it before you do it. Even
that word intentional. Brownie. Yes. That word
so
intentional.
If we intentionally eat half the brownie, okay. Because it made that, what is it, chocolate crave or whatever that was. But let's go reset, drink some water. I know Sherry wants coffee, but drink your water, get moving, and eat right the rest of the day, right? You only ate one brownie. Don't go eat 8 because you ate 1. That's where people get in trouble. and they stop creating, they don't keep up with their habits.
Mm-hmm. So again, that's making a choice.
So what are some habits that you're trying to reset for the month of June?
The big habit in June is to make it, and that's why I started putting it on my to-do list, is the get up and walk away for a little bit. That's a hard one for me. So that's why I've just recently started doing that. And that's what I'm concentrating on. Can I go through the month of June without staying on the computer for 10 hours? And I know I don't stay on there. I get up and I do things and I come back. But my mind is constantly on, if I'm doing this, I should be doing that. So I'm spending June concentrating on what am I thinking of, and setting some time limits on my thinking about different things. Nope, that's something, I'll take care of that tomorrow, even if I have to send myself a note. But I'm not going to do it today.
So something, go ahead.
Hopefully in the month of June, I'm going to do what you keep saying is I'm going to up my water intake. And now that I'm saying, it's really bad. This is being recorded. I've got people
just
who are
write it down and it'll
accountable.
happen. Write it down, have no plan, and it'll happen. Oh, wait, write it down, put it on your calendar, and it'll happen. See, mine is
people who are holding me accountable. I don't like this.
So last week I was on vacation, aka babysitting my grandson. I was also on here. And I brought some work and I thought I'd get some work done. Didn't have time for that. But you know what I made time for? Stretching. Ooh. Twice a day. And I've had plantar fasciitis for about a year and a half now. And you know what? That is a habit I need to put on the calendar. But I think stretching is a waste of time. I know that's so stupid to be my age and say that. It is not a waste of time. So sometimes maybe I'll listen to a podcast or I do it while I'm watching church because I've been watching church online or whatever I got to do. But stretching is important. You know what? My plantar fasciitis is doing better. Do you know drinking my water which I do, I'm very good about, but drinking my water will help with my plantar fasciitis. And I'm frustrated because I can't walk. But then I realized I can't go do my 2-3 mile walk because of my plantar fasciitis. That does not mean I can't go do my mile and a half walk. So I started doing that. But I stretch before I go and I stretch when I get home. And tomorrow, of course, I'm going to get, what is it called? Actually going to the doctor and getting actual inserts custom made for me. Oh, wait, did I just tell you I'm doing some self-care? Same thing with my book, right? I'm working on writing my book, but things are sometimes getting crazy. But that's what I'm going to schedule in June. And that's called resetting. Hi, Debbie. I am so glad that you are on today. That's so great. And if you would go back and watch the replay, because you know what? Terry Ann and I are going to be ending soon. But what are we talking about next Wednesday, Terry Ann? It is
let me tell you. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but each of our months kind of have a theme. Well, next month, let's get personal. What does it mean to you? Success. What does it mean to you? Self-esteem, being healthy, financial security. What does it mean to you? And stress management. There's 5 Wednesdays in June. So we're going to look at different topics and what does it mean to you? Because what success means to me is not necessarily the same thing that Sherry considers as success. The same thing that Debbie considers success. The same thing that Joanne considers. Everybody has their own description of what success is.
So we're going to talk about success next week?
So next week it is success. What does it mean to you?
Okay, that's great. And so we're going to get a little personal into people's business. Ha, ha, ha. Isn't that what you said? What was that tagline that you said?
Let's get personal.
Let's get personal. What does success mean to you? So anyway, June will be fun. We have lots of fun topics, and we look forward to seeing everybody. What day is that going to be? That'll be June 2nd.
June 2nd. Can you believe it? June already.
Yeah, 9:30 Central Time. And if you miss this and you're doing a replay, welcome. And like I said, leave us comments and we will come back and respond. So go
Always
make
excited to hear.
Go make it a good day. And then oh my gosh, it's going to be Memorial Day weekend. Let's end this week. Great. We're halfway through. Man, we can make it to Friday. Go, guys, go make it a good day.
Bye.